And yet we had the Hall of Fame, the reunion of you and Ringo there, and Paul McCartney didn't turn up for that one, and he sent a telegram saying that he thought it was a fake reunion and he'd feel like a hypocrite going.
Well, unfortunately, Paul is a hypocrite sometimes when, because right before we had that Hall of Fame thing, we were, we'd not been friends for a number of years, and we spent a long time really getting to know each other again. And it was so sad, really, that Paul should use an old business kind of thing and superimpose it on that situation of the Hall of Fame. And it's sad, really, that he's like that. But it is really sad because we spent a long time this last year and the early part of, just the end of the year, right before I came away from London. We had lots of dinners and meetings, and we were all really on a great course, which we still are on a business sense, of solving every problem we ever had finally after all these years. And it was just a shame that Paul should use like a sort of political sort of situation, because I think all he's done is miss a great night out, miss meeting Little Richard and all the old guys and Dylan, and also I think he put another nail in his own coffin as far as him as a person, because as Bob Dylan said at the Hall of Fame, love and peace is one thing, but we all have to have forgiveness too.
It's hard for Australians, I'm sure, when you think of the Beatles tours to Australia, it's hard for an Australian to believe that you three guys who remain don't get on. I mean, you were so much a team.
But we do get on. I mean, at this point in time, I'm the closest I've been with Paul now for, say, the last 10, 12 years. And that's why it seems so silly what he did. But in spite of that, I still love him, and it doesn't matter. I'm going to continue my friendship with him regardless of his attitude, because I don't have time to screw around anymore,
But you see a lot of Ringo, don't you, obviously?
I see a lot of Ringo. I see a lot of some other musicians who are, good friends. It was unfortunate because also I know Paul's wife, Linda, was cursing. She wanted badly to go to that show, and I think Paul did too. Maybe he was badly advised by somebody. I
don't expect you to go into the finances of it, the details, but is it really, a question over $1 million or $100 million? Is that the sort of thing?
It's not really to do with anything like that. It's a much more subtle thing than that. But it's, as I say, we've had difficulties with the record company we used to be with, or that the Beatles are still with. And at this point in time, we're right on for the first time really in 10 years of solving all those problems. Now everybody's talking and it looks like it's all going to be solved. The personal problem Paul had, which was not actually his problem, it was mine and Ringo, because if you want to know, Paul got extra money off Beatle records that we didn't get when we always agreed that we'd all get it equal. So that was the one thing that we had to do something in order to make sure that we got equal to Paul, because of what the history should show. And it was nothing really to do with this settlement we got with EMI, which is great. And as soon as we do that, Paul will be free of any problem he may have of us. But, one way of doing that is working together, and it's unfortunate that he's just sort of a bit foolish, I think.
I didn't think you were down to your last quid.
No, I'm not.
Can I ask you, where were you when you heard that John Lennon had been killed?
I was in bed asleep. It was sort of about 4 a.m. in London time.
But when you were told?
Yeah, that's when I was told. The phone call came through about 4 or 5 a.m.
Can I ask you what the reaction was? I'm obviously shocked, but I mean, could you believe it?
Well, at first I just thought, well, maybe it was just a flesh wound or something, but, it was obviously that it was more serious than that. What does anybody do? I just sort of thought, oh God, and went back to sleep again, or tried to.
You have a line in one of the songs on this new album saying that you say, I got out of the line of fire.
No, that's nothing to do with, people getting assassinated. It meant, like now, this is sort of the line of fire. Me sitting live on a satellite talking to Australia with you asking me about why Paul didn't show up. That's the kind of line of fire I was referring to.
Well, critics have been very good about the album, and what they keep saying, I've read a dozen or so reviews now, and they keep saying that you appear to be laid back, you appear to be relaxed, you appear to be comfortable, you appear to be in fine voice. Are you?
I appear to be.
And are you?
Yeah, I feel good, I feel fine.
There's a line that you've got to get in one of the other songs, which is on the album, that not the wreck. You say that I'm not the wreck of the Hesperus.
Yeah.
I feel more like the wall of China. I can rock as good as Gibraltar.
Yeah.
You're just getting better?
Or as... Pardon?
You're just getting better as you get older.
It is. I think it is, definitely. Everything gets easier. I'm less worried about stuff. And I think worries and paranoias and things like that just get in the way, And I seem to have got shut of a lot of that out of my system, and consequently I feel better. As to the performing and singing, being in better voice, I tell you, Jeff Lynne, who co-produced the album with me, has got such a good voice that it made me really want to try hard, to do some decent vocals. And I think they're sort of quite good, not bad anyway. And I think it's the reason of Jeff being there, during the production that helped me try harder.
I must say it's a great album. Every time I have it on a cassette in the car, and every time the more I play it, the more I like it. There is a quote. I know that we've taken your time this afternoon, but there is a quote again. Of you saying that I have to be more ordinary than ordinary people are. Why do you have to be more ordinary?
Well, because we all have concepts of each other, and the concept is that somebody see me on a plane or in the street or something, and they immediately they remember all this Beatles stuff, and they have this concept of me as that person. But in reality, I don't go around thinking of myself as George Harrison, the Beatle, or whatever. I do now because I'm on the television, but normally I'm just like you, just like everybody else. I'm just a human, and sometimes you have to, rather than just be ordinary, you have to, make an effort to be more ordinary, in as much as that they will calm down and try to see that there's actually a person in here other than this big myth about the Beatles. That's all.
Is it good to get your own words down on paper and put them out on record so that your songs are there? Is that a therapeutic thing?
I think it's a nice feeling. I think for anybody who writes, whether it be a letter or a postcard or a song or a book or, it's nice to be able to get something down and get it out of your system or pass some information on to other people.
George, thank you for your time. It's good to have you back again. The album is Cloud 9, and with George Harrison's latest, and as we say, there's a release of what will be number one in Australia shortly, the new single. But would you please thank George Harrison for us?
Thank you. Thanks, Gary. Nice to be on the show.
Well, thank you, George, very much indeed. I didn't mean to pry with questions about Paul and so on, but we do have such fond memories of the four of you out here.
That's okay. That's okay. Are we still on the air?
We are, but so let's say nothing else. That's
No, that's okay. I don't care. It's everything's cool.
Well, good on you. As I said, good to have you back. We'll go to break with that number one hit that George has in Australia. Got my mind set on you, George Harrison.